Hello, my name is Josh, and I'm Watchaholic. Welcome to Horology Insanity.
What is up, my watch friends? So, check this out. We are taking another look at the Feynman Cove. And if you didn't watch my Not a Review video on that, then I'm going to recommend, we'll link it up here in the upper right hand corner. But check out the Not a Review. Be mindful that I don't love this watch. Let me get these screwed back in. I don't love this watch. And so you're gonna hear that in the video. Like, I'll try to talk about it in, more of a unbiased manner when it comes to specs and whatnot. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm really shocked by how much I don't like this watch, even though I want to. I want so badly to like this watch, but I don't. And so in this video, we're just going to do some comparisons. And the first thing I want to compare it to, and I kind of showed in the other one, is the Feynman 1 on the left. I've had this one for a while now. I bought it secondhand from a friend, and I love everything about this. This blue Feynman 1 is one of the few keepers in my collection. Now, y'all know I've got like a huge collection, right? And I have a ton of watches, but only a handful of them am I really like, oh yeah, I'm definitely always keeping that. And this blue Feynman 1 is one of those. And so my dislike for this Feynman Cove is definitely not because of a dislike for Feynman as a brand or as a company. I don't even know the people, right? It's definitely not because of the kooky or wacky or unique aesthetic, like the design, which I love in this one, but I will say I don't love the design of this Cove. You can see when I put these side by side that they really tried to take the overall design and aesthetic from the Feynman 1, that's the one on the left, and put it into the Cove, but make the Cove more of a sporty watch. They're trying to make it a dive watch. It does have 200-meter water resistance. They did the compressor case. They tried to really carry over that, but yeah, I don't know. It's almost too much. It's too much. And part of this Feynman 1, for me anyway, again, these are all my opinions. All of my opinions, your mileage might vary. Different people like different things. As I always say, you do you, boo-boo. Even if that means you love this watch. You love this Cove, go for it. Enjoy it. But part of this, even though it had a very artistic design, it was simple. It's very sleek and elegant. I mean, the case isn't as sleek and elegant as it could be. It's kind of thick, and but even then they tried to work that in with these grooves and cutouts here. But the overall, when you're just looking at this, I don't know, it's soothing to my eyes when I look at this one. And then when I look at this Cove is like the opposite of soothing to my eyes. I don't know if it's my OCD or my Asperger's or whatever, but I look at this thing and there's so much going on, I almost want to have a panic attack, right? And so, maybe that's a little hyperbolic on my part. I'll say that laughingly or tongue in cheek, but yeah, there's a lot. So anyway, this is the first comparison I want to do. It's interesting that they're both in blue. They don't reflect the same shade of blue, in my opinion. The blue on the Cove is much darker in person than the on the one over here on the left. And so I hope that's coming across in the camera. The blue on the left, it's got more of a water texture. Like if you were in some darker, clear water, that's what the left looks like. The one on the right, honestly, in a lot of lights, it just looks black. It looks like an all black dial. And so, yeah, I hope that's coming across a little bit in the camera. So that's the first one I want to compare it to and just show the dichotomy, right? I love this one. Don't love this one. It's kind of funny how that works. So the other one I wanted to show you, when I want to do some comparisons with like some compressor cases. Now, it seems like these Feynman videos are all about the things I don't love. And when I say I don't love them, that's really just a polite way of me saying I'm not a fan personally. And one of the things that I'm kind of not a fan of, or that I don't love, is compressor cases in general. They kind of look like horns when you put them on the side. I don't know. I don't love them. Like if you've ever seen a ram that has had its horns cut off or shaped off, that's what this looks like to me. A lot of these, I don't know. I don't love compressor cases. And so maybe maybe that's another reason why I don't care for this Cove. But this on the left is the Zelos Helmsman 2. This is specifically the stainless steel variant. They also make a bronze one. You can go see my Zelos videos or my State of Collection to see those. But this is the stainless steel one. And it also has a blue dial. And what's interesting about this is the Zelos blue dial is much closer to the Feynman 1 when I hold all these up than it is to the Cove. And so when it comes to shades of blue, and y'all know I love blue, that's my favorite color. Sometimes I think about selling all my watches except for my blue ones. But yeah, the blue here, you can, maybe if that shows you all the more how dark the Cove is. It's a really dark blue. But anyway, I just wanted to put these side by side. And then we can almost kind of do a loom shot while we're on this. And maybe I got to, let me do this. You can see, and I showed this in the other video, but the loom on the Cove is its strongest feature while also still not comparing to really good loom, right? So like the loom is the best part of this Cove, but as soon as I put it next to something that actually has good loom, you're like, oh, well, that's a little underwhelming. And so this is here. I didn't give them a charge. Let me get my flashlight here. Let's give these a charge. I'll give them both a charge this time. Last time I charged the Cove and I did not charge the Zelos, but let me give them both some loom. I think this has got, oh, it does. See, it's got the loom crowns. Yeah, the Zelos is pretty fantastic. All right, let's see what they look like now. And yeah, so they're both more impressive, and you can definitely see the inner portion, all the striations, which is pretty cool on that. I mean, let me get that up in the full shot there. So you can see that's pretty neat, but you can see that when I put it something next to the Zelos, right, it pales in comparison. It really does. It really does. And so, yeah, I just wanted to do that. Let's keep the lights off for a second because the next one, and let me give this one a charge before I lift it up because this next one is another one of my favorites. If I had to, I say this all the time, but I do little things like if I had to sell all of XYZ and keep one, let's do that with the compressor cases. If I had to sell all of my compressor cases, but keep one, this next one is the one I would keep. And it is the Balticus Wave. And so you can see here, I'll turn the lights on in a second, but the full loom wave dial going on with the hands and indices and bezel compared to this Feynman. And you're like, eh. And so let me turn the lights back on real quick. Okay, but you can see here the Balticus, the compressor case on it, full polish, both of them. I mean, both of these are really nice, and both of them are, again, that artistic and unique kind of design and aesthetic. Like, you have to appreciate some artsy stuff, I think, to enjoy either one of these watches, just because of the way that they're designed. They're definitely not like your traditional, like, speaking of traditional, well, this is, I mean, it's got a moon phase, but even then, like, see, I'm wearing the blue Christopher Ward moon phase. Oh, by the way, if anybody has a white one of these, a white Christopher Ward moon phase that they want to part with at a fair price, hit me up. I'm curious. They've discontinued it, and I would like to have one to go with this. Anyway, but this blue is stunning. Stunning, stunning, stunning. And so here's the funny thing when I talk about that too, like when you talk about the amount that this Feynman can get you, like you can be getting one of these, or like I mentioned in the other video, you're in Oris or Longines territory. Not to bash, I don't want to bash this Feynman because I love the one. Love this one. I love this watch. So anyway, and it's not a micro brand, but I did want to share last is kind of my favorite blue dial. And it does have the internal bezel, but this here, I don't know what you call that. I don't think you'd call it a compressor case, even though the Alpinist does have 200 meters of water resistance. So technically it is as much of a diver as all of these other ones, right? When it comes to water resistance. But look at the blue in difference in comparison here. The blue Alpinist is one of the most beautiful shades of blue that I've ever seen on a watch. It really, really is. And so, you know, I've got it on this aftermarket Beads of Rice bracelet, but that would have been a pro for me had they put a Beads of Rice or some kind of bracelet on this instead of this rubber strap that I don't think is very good. I don't know. I think our FKM rubber strap's expensive. I've not looked into those, but does that help justify the price of this? Because I don't think it's worth it. I don't. But look at Look at the blue, the shades of blue. Oh, I don't know that I held these up too. We can compare these shades of blue. The Christopher Ward Moonface is a darker shade of blue than most of these others. And so you can see here that it's closer to the Cove than, like, say, this Alpinus is. This Alpinus with the sunburst effect and everything, it's a much lighter shade of blue. I like this. Yeah. So anyway, that's where we're at with all of these. We'll hold this one up as we end this, show these next to each other. Tell me down below, which one do you prefer? Well, one, do you care for Feynman at all? I do in this one, in the one. I don't in the Cove. And so it's funny how that works, but yeah. And then of these two, which one would you pick? All right, my friends, until we talk again, please remember what really matters, and that's not watches. Keep the insanity sane.